All right, we're talking franchise cricket for this segment of the SportsMax Zone. Rajasthan Royals defeated Chennai Super Kings by 6 wickets at the Aaron Jatner Stadium earlier on Tuesday, ending their 2025 Indian Premier League campaign on a positive note. The Royals had restricted CSK to 78 for 5 after 8 overs before a 25-ball 42 from Dual Brevis helped the 5-time champions recover to post a respectable 187 for 8 from their 20 overs. However, that total was still not enough to trouble Rajasthan, whose 14-year-old prodigy Vaibhav Suryavanshi, 57, together with skipper Shanju Samson, 41, stole the chase with a 59-ball 98-run second wicket stand, leaving Dhruv Jurel, 31, from 12 balls, and West Indian Shimron Hetmar, 12 from 5, to provide the finishing touches for the Royals at 188 for 4 in 17.1 overs. CSK captain MS Dhoni and Rajasthan's Samson both addressed the first innings where they think the game was decided.
If you just look at the amount of runs we had put on the board, it was very good. But then you have to look at the wickets column also, because it just puts pressure, in the lower middle order, because there are chances that you may not bat 20 overs.
Basically, we have a very young bowling lineup, to be very honest. We are missing Jofra, we are missing Sandeep Sharma, but the kind of temperament, the kind of planning, the kind of clarity our young bowlers had today, I think really hats off. And we feel that very confident that I think future looks good in this team. Actually, they are very young, but they are very promising as well.
Yeah, Rajasthan Royals, Chennai Super Kings, they finish at the bottom of the table. The Royals in 9th position with 8 points. Chennai Super Kings in 10th position with 6 points. A pretty disastrous campaign for both teams, but good to see Shimron Hetmar's team, the Rajasthan Royals, finishing the season with a win.
Yeah, good to see his team finishing the season with a win. Good to see him coming out not out. But again, Ricardo, it's one thing when we watch our West Indies players in the IPL setup, having performances, getting runs, getting wickets. But, it always, and I think because we're so passionate about West Indies cricket, always that thought runs through our mind, can they translate these performances? Shimron will join the West Indies team after this. So I'm hoping that, the confidence, all the work that he's been putting in. And I'm happy to see him playing with the Rajasthan Royals, because what's for sure is all the different training, they get the best professional care when they play in the IPL. So I'm hoping that, all the work that he's been putting into the IPL translates for the West Indies. So, good stuff for him, and can't wait for him to rejoin the West Indies setup.
Yeah, hugely disappointing season for both teams, the Rajasthan Royals and Chennai Super Kings. Right now, we're not sure who's going to hold the wooden spoon, because both have lost 10 matches so far. But the Rajasthan Royals have finished their campaign, but the Chennai Super Kings still have one more to play. So although Chennai Kings are at the bottom of the table at the moment and the Royals are one ahead of them, if the Kings win their game, I would have to check their net run rate. Very likely that Rajasthan Royals will finish at the bottom of the table. So it was a victory today that would have been good for the Rajasthan Royals to end the season on a high note. But it's been really, really, really tough for both these teams this season.
Yeah, and it's so strange to see the Chennai Super Kings at the foot of the IPL table, because we're so accustomed to them challenging for titles. And I also wonder now, because MS Dhoni, given the season that they have had, is it time for MS Dhoni to step away? Of course, we know he stepped away from international cricket, but he continues to play in the IPL. And I'm just wondering, Lance and Mariah, is now the right time after a season like this?
I think it has been the right time since a couple of seasons, but of course because of the caliber, the history, the legacy that comes with MS Dhoni, and remember, the IPL is the Indian Premier League, so of course, he brings all of that to the setup. But I think just like how the West Indies players have transitioned into other roles, I would be happy if MS Dhoni were to, just step back a bit, and of course he can join the coaching staff, because we've seen Karen Pollard do that. We've seen Dwayne Bravo do that. So all I'm saying is I think his time is up as a player in the IPL, but having him around the setup does wonders for the team. So that's a direction I would go if I was handling the MS Dhoni.
Yeah, he started playing international cricket in 2004. That's 21 years ago. He'll turn 44 in a couple of weeks from now. So I think he has done enough, and I think he has been enough of an Indian hero for him to know that his legacy is untroubled.
And he will always be an Indian hero.
Yeah, so, and he's been one of the biggest stars of Indian cricket all time.
Yes.
He,
There's a movie called MS Dhoni. You know that?
Yeah, and, I remember there was once when he had cut his hair.
Yeah.
I remember when he had long hair and he had cut his hair and he was flocked. I think he was coming out of the barber or something, and there were some video scenes I had seen with hundreds of people surrounding him and so on. So he's well, when you're a star in India, as a cricketer, you are a star. And MS Dhoni is among the biggest of them all. So
Yeah.
I think, he's done enough. He's done enough. He could walk away now and feel happy with what he's contributed
And
to the game.
you say walk away, and for me it's not to, and I say it again, don't walk too far away. Stay within the setup. Help develop Indian cricket, whichever franchise you want to stay, because they tend to move around, stay aligned to, all that expertise, contribute it into the youngsters, into their development, into their upbringing. So I mean, we're not trying to be too harsh on MS Dhoni, because you know how our Indian following is also on the YouTube channel, the SportsMax YouTube channel. All I'm saying is he has so much to give back to the game. So, keep him around the setup.
Yeah, and of course, he's focused on a number of things relating to the season they've had. He's spoken about the batting, and he said that, listen, once we were out of the playoffs, the focus became trying to figure things out for next year, trying to, with the bat, enjoy ourselves when we go out there with the ball, figure out how to play better in pressure situations. The one thing he hasn't addressed in that time frame is where he fits into that picture come next season. And I completely agree with Mariah, because I think at this stage, you pointed out, Lance, he's going to be 44 years old soon. There's nothing that MS Dhoni has not done in this sport, either for country or franchise. And so maybe now is the perfect time. You finish 9th or 10th, clean break. And, you sometimes, there are those who would say you don't want one of the great Indian players of all time to leave the scene on such a negative note, but there's still a place for him in the Chennai Super Kings setup. I've seen, instances this season where his experience has been vital, but I think that experience can be just as vital on the sidelines as a coach, assistant coach, as a mentor, whatever it is. There is still an opportunity there for Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So let's see what will happen with the Chennai Super Kings and the 2026 Indian Premier League. It's not over yet for 2025 though, and Wednesday's clash will be a massive one with playoff implications as 4th placed Mumbai Indians welcome 5th placed Delhi Capitals to the Wankhede Stadium. Just 1 point separating the teams with 2 games to go. That one is a big one, and that's tomorrow. You'll want to watch it on the SportsMax app. We'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone.